Alright guys, I was going to just do a video on the Seiko Sumo, but I couldn't help, I couldn't resist. I have some great Seiko models in the room right now, so I wanted to kind of talk about something a little more in depth. I get asked often, and it probably gets asked even on forums and Facebook groups and everything like that, to many people, which Seiko should I buy? So I mean, if you are honed in on the Seiko lineup, then that is a legitimate question. Unfortunately, it is difficult for people to make that decision without actually going to a place and trying them on, because most people don't have access to some of these watches. They're just not in regular stores that we visit or we may have access to. So you are left to, ask those questions and, do your own research, look at pictures, look at videos, all of that stuff. So hopefully I can maybe help or potentially confuse you even further. But the reality is most of these watches are going to work on a ton of different wrist size. I know people, because the Sumo is a large watch, right? And I know people with much smaller wrists than I have, and they wear a Sumo and they absolutely love it. They wear it on a regular basis. So like the size of the Sumo, this is probably Seiko's biggest magic act is the Sumo itself, because you're looking at a 44.5 millimeter wide and a 51.5 millimeter lug to lug, 13.7 thick and 20 mil lug width, bracelets tapered down to 18. I'm not going to go into all the measurements for all of these, but I really wanted to point out the Sumo directly because it is so unique. Nobody else has done anything like it. It is such a good looking watch. 120 click bezel, really nice font on the bezel, script there, easily legible, has the 6R15 on it. The finishing on it is top notch. And it wears great. So I didn't size the bracelet. You have bracelet options too. I think the factory bracelet is actually superb. I really wouldn't change it. But you can see on my 7.25, I mean, it just melts into the wrist. But it's big enough and it has a lot of visual impact. But I mean, on my 7.25, it does not feel like a large watch at all. There's no hot spots. And I know guys all the way down to probably like 6.75 wrist that wear the Sumo and absolutely love it. So Sumo prices, now this is the SBDC 033 or the blumo because it's blue. I think these are around 470-ish and maybe trending upward because of the new models. You're going to see a lot of these first generation or whatever generation it is, but the previous one where they're just going to kind of slowly disappear is the blue, the black, and then there's an orange one out there that's a little more elusive and probably $700 or $800. But the Sumo is an excellent choice, super comfortable. But if you don't want that large of a watch for whatever your reasoning, and even though it will wear good on your wrist, you have other options. The Seiko Monster is much smaller and wears really good. And you can get these things around $500, so about the same price. If you want to save some money, I don't have a good fully assembled turtle here, but just as a representation, like if you look at the SRP 773, which would be the stainless case, blue bezel, comparable turtle to say these two models, you can pick those things up for under $300, and they wear good on wrist. Whether you do it on strap, I actually like them on strap better, but there are some good bracelet options out there for them too. You can get into a turtle for under $300 and you are set. You're completely set. You have the day date, you have the hack, the hand wind, super comfortable, unique case design, just a great watch. So you don't have to spend a ton of money. The turtle is always the option, or if your wrist is a little bit smaller, you can go with an SKX or SKX-like clone or whatever, and you're still going to be in that $200 to $300 range. Great watch, no doubt about it. But if you're still looking at the premium range of the Seiko lineup, then you also have, this is the SBDC 061, I think. There's other colorways of it, but this is a good clean one, very classic looking, excellent case finishing, case design. It feels premium. It has a really nice bracelet. And these guys are, I think, they're on the higher end. They're definitely plus 500, closer probably to the $700 range. When you find them, it does have the 6R15 movement in it. And again, extremely comfortable on wrist, and they just wear really good. I don't know if, yeah, this one's going to be too tight on me. I'll see if I can get a wrist shot for you, and then we'll cover that last one there. But bear with me for a second here. I got to open up the dive extension so I can get this one on my wrist. So you can see on my 7 1/4, it wears perfect. It still has that Seiko magic, but I'm telling you, the Sumo, the way it hugs, it doesn't feel any bigger than this one. So, but this one definitely feels more premium than an SKX or even a Turtle. I would easily prefer this one. So if you're maxed out at that $300 range, then definitely stick with a Turtle or an SKX. But if you're willing to go to the $500 range, then, you know, look at the monsters. Maybe try to find a killer deal on one of the MM200s. Or you could actually swoop up one of these. This is the SBDC 053. You can find these very affordable. The issue I think I have with these is it technically is a smaller case, but in between the date change was going to bug me. The blue dial on this is just stunning. Excellent case construction, finishing, and then no shrouds or anything like that. So it looks a little more traditional. But if you look at the, let's see if I can measure it here real quick. If you look at the case size, it's like 43 mil. So it's technically like smaller than the Marine Master 200 style. I don't know, we keep calling it that, but I know that's not what it is. But and these are super stunning. I mean, you can see that in the light. It just, the blue on this is just spectacular. You can find these guys in, you know, just under 600, you know, depending, that's new prices probably, but you can get them on bracelets, on straps. You know, I think part of it is the 3 o'clock crown. I'm so used to the offset crown, but they wear good, ton of visual presence. You know, these are, I think, the nickname, the more affordable 62 MAS, you know, which is the bigger one. It's not the SLA one. But I almost feel like these ones still kind of fly under the radar. There's not a whole lot of attention paid to these. So also another, you know, I gravitate towards that stuff too when they're kind of flying under the radar. Everyone's focused on, you know, maybe the older Sumos or the Marine Master, the real Marine Master, or the MM200 or the Monsters or whatever like that. And no one's really paying attention to these models because I don't see a ton of new colorways in those either. Maybe that's a good one to snag up right now. So let me just share. I don't want to make the video too long, but if you guys can see some of these next to each other, you can see the lug to lug is, you know, the difference there. And the blue is just stunning on this one. You know, whereas the Sumo, the blumo, it's more of a matte blue. This one definitely, and it's not like a radiant blue or anything like that. It's just a nice clean pop, really like candy-like almost. So if you look at this one next to this guy, hopefully I can give you guys some side-by-side so you can just kind of help make your decision, because I know a lot of you guys are not going to be able to see these out in the wild or check them out. These are both, you know, newer models that have been out. So, you know, next to the Monster. So we can do some comparisons for you guys so you can have a better visual. So a little bit of lint there. So you can see these two are not that far apart from one another as far as size, especially once you consider the center end link on the SBDC 061 kind of extends the lug to lug. It almost pushes it into Sumo range, really. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, let me know. I don't know that I'll probably do another video on this, like for a comparison, but I can certainly maybe take some pictures, post them up on Instagram or something like that, so you guys can get some more visual cues to see which one's going to work for you. And hopefully that'll help make your decision, because I know that's usually helpful when I'm trying to make a decision. So give you a little loom shot there. The Seiko loom is always going to present really good. And guys, I'll see you on the next vid. Thanks for watching.